session are going to be about a deep dive on the conflict management platform that Gravity is building, and also what are the requirements for Gravitons, and also it's very important for Gravitons to understand the code of conduct that we are going to be framed by. The last session with Livy, we were talking about the importance of boundaries, of rules and boundaries, and following the application of Ostrom's principles, we have decided to take care of our rules and boundaries and like think on them, to looking for the well-being of the community. So this code of conduct is a really important document that I think that the Gravitons should be familiar with, because instead of defending points of view, we can refer to the code of conduct as a source of legitimacy, and we can say that the behavior that is not well taken, because I say so as a steward or as a or as a working is stated in so it's very important, and is right now moving this work that we have done in a document to read, but I want to present you what we are doing and what are going to be the rules and boundaries that will give shape to on the code of conduct. Then we are going to talk about the participation of Gravitons in community management, and then we will go a little bit on the forum post that has been made in the forum on the gravity, to also understand like where are the where is the work that we have been doing, and of how are Gravitons going to like work. But I hope that between this session around the process and around the steps can be um, um, this is a meme. I always love to start with a meme, and really that we are trying to bring here into the a way to frame behavior, and to set some rules for for every of the members. So in the TEC, we have a value-aligned code of conduct. The TEC operates from a prosocial the principles that guide the TEC. So it's also very important for other communities to try to frame themselves um, between principles and not between like yeah uh, um, not between a criteria or a judgment made by a group of people, but like by some principles that are not associated to a group of people, but to the values that of the organization. public goods over profit. Profit is not bad. On the contrary, it is critical towards our goal of creating regenerative economy that support the token and the engineering community. But providing services to support the TE community is more important than making a profit. And also, we are human-centered. We encourage initiatives that are and strive to only create positive impact. We hold ourselves to high standards of safety, resilience, and integrity. Interact and express their opinions and contributions free from any malicious reaction. Resilience. We ask members of this community to communicate openly and to make an effort to maintain. If conflict arises, we expect members to act peacefully towards a resolution and the restoration of harmony and efficiency. Okay, this is something that I pasted, and I should have taken it, but okay. Integrity. Honesty and consistency lead to trust, which is a core value of healthy communities. Our approach is to trust first, and any instance of scam, mislead, spam, or defraud will be treated as a violation of this code of conduct. We encourage our members to be radically and creative contribution on work. Non is and diversity of our common and to proactively identify their incentives, especially if there are no conflicts of interest. Inclusive to be first and for token value to rise. Token engineering projects can be seen as organized action towards designing sustainable cryptoeconomic systems. So why did I take the time to read all these? Because sometimes we like forget our values, and it's very important to understand that here is not like what one person says, is that we have these values, and within our values we are talking about accepting the difference, about respecting each other, about being value driven, about being human centered. So these are like the basis and the basic understanding that we are going to try to reproduce in every interaction of the TEC. That's why it's really important for gravitons not only to understand these values, but also to replicate them and to behave according to them in their role of that is very aligned and very associated to community management. The role of easing disputes and easing communication is also very related to the community management. And that is why I am really happy to say that the new Discord that we are going to migrate to is going to be moderated by Gravity and by Gravitons, and also with the help of transparency. So it's very important that the members of these groups are also a reflection, and also that they lead with the example of acting according to these values, because it wouldn't have any sense to have gravitons that don't follow the code of conduct of the organization. Instead of that, to be a graviton, we will have additional requirements, or different to the requirements of the normal members in the organization. So, what are the additional requirements that we have in the Gravity Code of Conduct? We decided to make this approximation to a code of conduct for the different platforms that we use and the different working groups, using what Ostrom says, that is that sometimes we don't include what is required when we are making rules, and we only make rules thinking on what is allowed and what is forbidden. But here, we tried also to add an important thing of what is required to join and stay in the collective. So, what actions can be taken in Gravity? Everyone in the community can fill the Gravity type form or approach any of the gravitons to request support for conflict and any sort of uncomfortable or undesired situations. In case of conflict, gravitons can approach the parties involved to collect information on the issues. Gravitons can take actions to regulate unwanted behavior according to the graduated sanctions. All community members can propose new methodologies to approach graduated sanctions and mutual monitoring, as well as upgrade current ones through advice process and forum voting. Gravitons can submit conflicts or issues to the Gravity Registry, that is a database of the case managed by Gravity. Conflict resolution calls and chats are closed to gravitons and parties involved to respect privacy and vulnerability. The Gravity Working Group can host trainings and capacitate the individuals to become gravitons. The Gravity training is free and open for all. Gravity can remove proposals from all the voting categories if they receive flaggings and or are seen as harmful for the community based on our rules, boundaries, terms and conditions, and code of conduct. And now, what are the requirements and what is like discouraged or forbidden? The requirements are that all members should act in acknowledgement of the guidelines for scale of conflict and graduated sanctions. That we'll go over them in a moment. Gravitons should comply to the code of conduct of the TEC and the additional graviton code of conduct. Gravitons should accept cases based on their competence and communicate to the Gravity Working Group if they don't feel capable of handling an issue. Gravitons should promote trust and good relationship between the community. It is required to complete the Gravitons will update the Gravity Registry with the information of possible agreement. All members should commit to respect the protocol for TEC calls and respect the arrangements made about the situations issued. So these are like the rules that we are going to follow in Gravity. Like we all are making this training to become a graviton, and there is no one that can become a graviton without being in this training. And after we are gravitons, I think that we will need uh, some like new roadmap to integrate some of the new ideas that gravitons that you can have for improving this trading and for improving this program. And the idea of all that is that when we have this organization made, we can then go out and offer our services to other organizations. So what is discouraged for Gravity? Using confidential Gravity information to serve personal interests. That will lead to the expulsion of the Gravity group, and because any member can monitor Graviton's actions and report to other Gravitons, fill in the type form or contact community stewards. And like the Gravitons, as all of the members of the organization, are engaged in this mutual monitoring. So Gravitons can also be reported to another Graviton, or to via the type form, or contacting another community steward for telling some behavior or unwanted behavior that the Graviton is reproducing, or any conflict that may involve a Graviton. And as I was saying before, it is really good that now Gravity has moderation um, powers in this new Discord, because that will help us to respect the protocol of the TEC meetings. It's very important that we have like clear rules, so that anyone is lost, or that if anyone is new to the community, they can like get engaged the way we behave the community. Because here we have to take in mind that this is like our workplace, and there are certain boundaries on what can be published in the Discord. And also there are certain boundaries of what can we do in a call, because most of our calls are being recorded and streamed. So it's very important that we keep order in our calls, and that is why we have a protocol for the TC meeting. Because happen, but if a fight like goes in a call, maybe that would affect the whole community. And it's good that we are prepared to mute any mic if like the tone of the discussion is going too strong, or even if open mics are an open mic. It's good for the Gravitons or for the moderators to be able to server mute someone to looking for the quality of the call and quality of the sound. And these are like the ground rules for the interactions that we have in calls. We have nonviolent communication is the common rule. And grateful to our members and to our colleagues. That's why we also give praise. And it's good always to respect, and we don't like using any like nicknames or something like that. It's always good to ask someone, how do you like to be called? Just like starting with this small to have a good first step to start communicating with the other. And we promote humbleness of knowledge, because here in these communities we all are experts, and we all are very competent people that has a lot of knowledge and a lot of wisdom in them. So instead of trying to impose our own perspective into the community, what we want is to enrich the community with the diversity of knowledge that we all can bring into this into this community. And work at and do what they feel that they are um, um, and and framework and institution, we um, for uh, of other calls. Calls. So the idea is not to spend time in calls like um, on topics that are not for the purpose of that call. If we want to discuss something, it's good to like schedule a sabotage other members' work. We have to respect others' integrity, and this is like very aligned to what we are trying to say of valuing everyone as and respecting the dignity of each member. And these are also rules related to the community management in the different platforms. And like spamming and sabotage leads to retire from the call. And if this is happening in a repetitive way, the user may be retired from the server. And this is another thing that is encouraged, is that as we are a community with people from all over the world, sometimes we can feel more comfortable expressing certain ideas in our native language. So even though that we communicate in English for like our main language to communicate, if there is a word or an expression that I don't know how to say in English, maybe I can use and talk in Spanish, and other member can help me to express, because the idea is that even though that we have um, language barriers, here we can ease the communication for everyone. So here is also going deeper into Graviton's participation in community management, and is that the TEC has its own tailored rules and boundaries, which are co-created and translated into protocols, processes, and guidelines that are made to follow our values, take care of our systems, and regulate autonomously. And in Gravity, we are proposing a mutual monitoring system with Gravity type form or with a direct communication to a dedicated the following responsibilities. As individuals, to promote dialogue within the organization, take decision on the implementation of graduated sanctions, and both a collective and individuals to commit regular attendance in our community practice. So, what is our goal? The goal of Gravity is that people in the community recognize the agreements and culturally act coherently with the values of the organization. And if there is conflict, there are clear steps to follow in order to manage the situation for the effective search and implementation of solutions that respect the dignity of all parts involved. It's very important to understand that this is something that are able to make, to offer ways to solve some of the caused by the activities that we are involved in, because we are involved in coordination activities, we are involved in decision making activities, we are involved in research. It's very important so that we can have clear steps to follow to manage the situations that may arise in this coordination, in this decision making, in this research that we are making, because like conflict, as we have seen in past sessions, is a natural possibility in life. So we should be able to understand the possible conflicts that may arise within the activities that we are involved in and within the medias that we communicate through, so that then we can suggest actions for improving or for correcting that unwanted behavior. So the Gravity Group aims to work. The Gravity Group aims to support the TEC by actively promoting trust, setting expectations, and managing conflict between individuals, the different groups, and the community as a whole. Recognize boundaries and areas of potential dispute, as well as explicit violations of boundaries between individuals and the community as a whole. Supporting communication between community members and encouraging participation at all levels, individually, in groups, and inside the community as a whole. Hold admin powers to manage systems of communication on behalf of the individual, the constituent groups, and the community as a whole. Promote community by proactively co-creating boundaries, discussions, and exchange in a system of shared values, and as a group, take decisions regarding the implementation of graduated sanctions and commit to its participation with respect to all individuals, especially the ones that don't follow our terms and conditions. I love this one, the last, because the idea here is that the people that don't understand, yeah, the idea instead of that is that it's on the contrary, that don't follow our terms and conditions can be corrected in order to repair the harm done, and think the same way that we do, with respect and with value of their dignity. It would be incoherent that we would that what we're doing is to session that she said about how rules can be also for forgiving rules, and that we are trying to apply within the organization are not like punishing rules. It, in the next session, I want to go like really in the detail of what are our suggested graduated sanctions, but most of them are not any punishment. Most of them involve like love, like swarming with love, like that is a sanction. Instead of having to pay a due or something, a sanction can be or an action, a reasonable action for that to manage that conflict can be like swarm that person with love, or trying trying to engage him or her in other activities that may make her or him feel more valued, or yeah, the sanctions that we are proposing are very like from the point of view of reconciliation and healing. So here is the guideline for scale of conflicts and graduated sanctions, and our framework for studying the conflicts serves us to suggest appropriate actions to correct the unwanted behavior, and a list of 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 um of ingredients, a list of ingredients to identify when a conflict is in a mid-scale conflict. We're trying to propose certain actions for each scale of graduated sanctions guideline. So you can see that the sanction actions are like follow up. Most of the time, nothing happens. Can be settled with simple call. And this is like a signature that I am trying to make, and is that after every dispute, we can make a small reconciliation ritual between the parts, where both of them can like forgive themselves and forgive the other, say I'm sorry, say thank you for all the learnings that come from the conflict, and I love you, because love is to recognize the other person as an equal, and to recognize the other person's values and feelings. Here we have tribe love circles. Like maybe if a member is feeling that he or she is being like pointed out or judged, maybe we can instead of making him or her like feel more judged, we can start like swarming the conflict with good intentions, and with people that help to heal the also we can assign a graviton to gather information for involved parts, and we can have a private conversation between parts. The idea of these graduated sanctions is not to impose like sanctions and to punish people, but instead of that, the idea is that according to the issue, we can have strategic responses to promote healing and well-being for the community and for the members. Also, we are promoting a lot of confidentiality, because I think that is a very key, important part of the success of any mediation process. So yes, by framing the conflict between small, medium, and big scale conflicts, we can also suggest these mechanisms that are the alternative dispute resolution mechanisms that we are going to offer as an organization and as a group. We can offer negotiation that are, well, these are the self-compositive alternative dispute resolution. And we can offer negotiation that is just for an issue that is handled directly between parts. We can have a mediation that is that the Graviton acts as a facilitator for the conflict management process, directly suggesting a solution, or conciliation, that is that the conflict manager proposes and helps to implement a suggested solution that should be taken into consideration for the approval between parties. This is like our boundary. I feel that the self-compositive alternative dispute resolution that we can offer is like finishes when we have to look for other organizations to address the issue. And this is something that I want to explain better with this graph. So the idea of the is that we can have an internal management layer that offers self-compositive alternative dispute resolution, so that the conflicts that arise within our organization can be settled within our internal layer, and that they don't go into the exterior management. Because if a conflict is really big, then it's strategically good to request for an external management layer and to go to a heterocompositive arbitrage or litigation. But our idea is to try to avoid litigation and arbitration, and try to avoid including external actors to solve our own issues, and try to solve our own issues internally first, and only request if it is strategically fit for the better management of the problem. So, like gravity, what I am trying to express in this process tries to be like this internal management layer, tries to provide this internal management layer. If we didn't have gravity, like maybe a conflict can go to the outside without. But here the idea is that we can have a previous process where if the thing is small, we can handle it fastly, respond fastly within the organization, and only request for arbitration and litigation if we don't have the tools to manage that conflict internally. So the idea is that when a conflict happens, it goes through our internal management, and we have our internal follow-up, and we have our observation of the conflict, and we make our own insights, and we make our own agreements. And if they work, or if they don't work, we go to review our graduated sanctions and our framework for analyzing and for identifying the conflicts, so that they can better respond to the conflicts that may arise in the organization. Do you have any question until this moment?
No, I would just say, rather than strictly non-hierarchical, it might be said that it would be a better way to say it to be that it's hierarchical, in the sense that uh, um, developmental levels of everyone, and all of the levels of engagement that exist within all of that. Um, so to say that there's no hierarchy at all is not exactly true, but it's more of an radically inclusive version of that.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And also, the code of conduct is really that the rules for organization, something that can be updated and reviewed. So yes, I think it's also a valid and very good point that you're making, Durgas. If anyone has I prepared a meditation for today. I think it's very good and a good practice that we have like been making in this Graviton training. That we have a moment to like meditate and having a lot of concerns, a lot of work. But it's also good to return to our optimal arousal zone, to go to the balcony, and to keep our calm minds so that we can take better or other situations that may arise. So I've never done it, but I will try that. It's a good experience for all of us. So if you want, you can um, close your camera, and we will go to through the meditation. So well, take a comfortable position wherever you are at. You can be in your seat, or if you want to be stand, you can do it as well. Try, if you want, you can close your eyes, or you can do it with your eyes open, and try to have some deep breaths. And now try to gain conscious of where you are at now, where you are at, where you are at in your house, where you're at um, in your city, where you're at in your country, and where you're at in the world, and the boundaries of your body. Like you can touch your hands, and you can touch your knees, and touch your legs, and get in touch with yourself. Try to see yourself and ask yourself, who are you, and what are the feelings that you have had this week? What has been the most predominant thoughts that you have had in this week or in this day? And try to recognize if those feelings and those thoughts have made you happy, and if you feel proud of feeling those feelings. And if you don't feel proud for feeling your feelings, also ask yourself why, and what can you do to to be more comfortable with your own thoughts and with your own feelings. So try to get a little deep inside of you and connect, um, and understand what have been like, the ideas that have been guiding your thoughts and your minds and your feelings. Now that you are deeply connected with yourself and that you are deeply connected with your feelings, without moving, and like if you had a camera, um, in your imagination, take 3 steps back from yourselves, from yourself. And now you are not seeing the world from your point of view. Rather than that, you are seeing yourself as a third person. And now that you when you see yourself, and what do you feel when you sometimes we see others as 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 yes, as third persons, as separated from ourselves. And when we see others, sometimes we think of an advice or a word that we want to say to others. But now think on an advice that you would like to tell yourself, a word that you would like to tell yourself as if you were seeing yourself as other person. Because it's always very easy to advise others and to yeah, like, we always have a good word for others, but sometimes we don't have good words for ourselves. So give yourself a good advice, and like, um yeah, it is like, what would you say to yourself, and how do you see the feelings that you feel, and that move you, um as see yourself outside from you. Would you tell yourself, like, would you give yourself a palm on the back and say, "Good job, man, you're doing amazing," or would you say to yourself, "Okay, you can do better"? So give yourself an advice, but try that advice comes with love. Don't try to judge yourself or say anything bad to yourself. Just give yourself an advice, like, keep doing what you're doing. Put more love on what you're doing, or um, yes, or like control your emotions, or like, be more wise with the words you say. You can keep the advice you gave to yourself, and that is a gift that you made to yourself today. And when you feel comfortable, you can tell me something to end this meditation. I want to share with you the experience that I had with this meditation, and it's very funny because I'm moving to a new apartment, and when I got into the apartment, like some things were like falling apart, and uh, like things weren't as I wanted them to be, and I was feeling anxious because I was feeling like, hey, did I did good in moving, or what was it what I wanted? And I was very anxious. And my brother told me this, told me, try to see yourself as if you were a third person, and what would you say to yourself? And I mean, you are, you say to a person that is having the conflict that you are living right now. And I did this, and I said, I'm overreacting. And I said, like, okay, maybe I would tell myself, or the person that I see that is having this feeling, that he's just being anxious, and that he should like calm down and start seeing things from other point of view, and like not making a big of a deal for something small, and just like embrace that conflict will always arise, and like there is always a pipe that is going to break, and like it's normal that like shit happens, and anyone's life is perfect, and we cannot expect like to move to a place, and that everything goes perfect from the first day. We have to give our energies, and we have to be patient with ourselves as well. And this is also very very enlightening for this experience that we're having for moving to the new server, because it's like that. Like moving is always going to be this adaptation period, but after some time, and after some uh, um, like and start to with this where um someone wants to share 5 minutes before and um,
Then I just gave myself a hug, and that was awesome. I think I needed a hug, so it was nice to kind of be there for myself. So yeah, that's all. But I really enjoyed that meditation. That was a great exercise. Thank you.
Thanks, Sean. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, I can also share something. That was a very great meditation. For me, what came up was how seeing myself from outside made me talk in a more gentle way with myself, because I think I never talk to other people in the way I talk to me. And then seeing this distance is like, wow, why do I talk to myself so unfriendly sometimes when I always try to be friendly with others? So it was really cool to have this perspective. Thanks, Juan.
Well, thanks everyone, and I hope that we're having a really high vibe on what we're doing in this moment, because like I am super hyped. I am really happy about you all engaging in this training and what I think that we can accomplish in some time. Okay, so
Thanks, Juan.
the other people can, okay, yeah, sure, Durgas.
I was just saying thanks.
Okay, so
It's
everyone
like we
can.
don't want this to end. I was just saying, it's like we don't want this to end. Juan, this was really great. I know a lot of work went into this code of conduct through a lot of people, Livia, Santi, a lot of people in the TEC, and it's really how to behave well with other humans.
Yeah,
Thank you
there's
for sharing
way
with
more
us
to
too.
come. We keep adding and changing and improving even while we're given this training.
Cool.